Johnny, get your gun, get your gun, get your gun. Johnny, show the Hun you're a son of a gun. Hoist the flag and let her fly. Yankee Doodle do or die. Pack your little kit, show your grit, do your bit. Yankees to the ranks from the towns and the tanks. Make your mother proud of you and the old red, white, and blue. Over there, send the word over there, that the Yanks are coming, the drums coming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer, send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over there. Over there, send the word over there, that the Yanks are coming, the drums coming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer, send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over there. So prepare, say a prayer, send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over there.
Don't get scared, Karen! It's all right! Goodbye, Mother! Goodbye, Karen! I'll send back half my pay, and Dad's insurance will hold out until I get back!
You are Los Angeles. May God bless you. May God give us victory.
I'll be back!
Let us
I
pray.
promise!
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
As the great patriot Theodore Roosevelt once said,
Goodbye, Karen! I love you!
Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses.
America! You're like a sweetheart to me.
4 trainloads of us that morning. A terrible crowd at the station. The whole place, the station, the cars, even the locomotives were draped with bunting. And children and women mostly carried little flags waving vaguely, vacantly. 3 bands all playing at once. Lots of officers herding people together. The mayor giving a speech, and all the people laughing and drunk and crying and losing each other. My mother and sister. Karen! Karen! It's me! I've come home. I'm back. I'm here. Karen! Oh, just like you remember me that day at the station waving goodbye. It's me, Karen. I'm thinking of you. I can see you just like I never left. Goddamn telephone ringing somewhere. Ringing too loud. Answer the goddamn phone, someone! That's one hell of a hangover you got there. Doesn't feel like any hangover you've ever had. You're sick. Real sick. Faint. Choked. Make them stop the ringing. Make them answer the phone. Why is it so far away? Sweat's pouring out of me. Hot. Wet. They're all over me. Bandages. Wrapped from head to toe. My God, I'm hurt bad. Pounding. Like it's going to burst. Harder and harder, beating. Oh God, I'm deaf. hit hard. So hard I can't hear my own heartbeat. Stone deaf, Joe. Stone cold deaf. What's that you said? Speak up, I ain't hearing so well. Hell, ain't that bad, Joe. Lots of things you don't want to hear anymore. Machine gun fire, whistle of a 75 coming down fast, yells from a guy trying to tell you he's got a bullet in his belly. Nothing to kick up your heels about. Might be worse, right? But I can hear. I can hear. I can hear Mother. You, Mother, humming in the kitchen. I can see you singing in the kitchen, singing and working over the coal-burning stove. Stirring apple butter in a big crock, the thick bubbling and snapping of the kindling. Baking bread, sliding the pan onto the table, the pan creaking and popping as it cools. Working in the fall from day to day, from week to week, scarcely getting out of the kitchen, canning cherries and peaches. The rich, spicy smell through the house. Jellies and jams and preserves and chili sauces. And you worked and sang. Oh, oh, oh. You always said the prettiest sound was the first big snowfall. I could never hear anything, but you always said, just listen. I can hear it. I can see it. It's a wet snow clinging to everything it touches. The wire fences on the chicken coops in the backyard are holding a cap of snow half an inch deep. The chickens are puzzled by it all. They're walking carefully in it. And the roosters are talking about it complainingly. The outbuildings are beautiful. The fence post has a cap of snow 4 inches high. I'm gonna get in my heavy clothes and my Mackinaw and my boots and my sheepskin gloves, and I'm going out with the rest of the kids, and I'm not coming back until my feet are numb and my nose is frosty. Woo! People around me. They're working on me, Karen. I'm in a bed. The bandages, they're coming off. I can feel coolness, sudden drying of sweat, sharp pinch, something cold, hard, like a piece of metal, grabbing, getting a bit of my skin. Each grab, why are they pinching me? A short little pull in the flesh of my upper arm, point of heat like friction. Short little jerks. Hot. It hurts. Itches. Something's wrong. I can feel inside my arm. No. I can feel
through the end of my arm.
Jesus Christ, they've cut off my arm. Cut it off right at the shoulder.
Oh my God, the dirty bastards! Why'd they do a thing like that? I had to have a paper signed or something. It's the law. I have to work with that arm. Why did you? How am I gonna work now, huh? Didn't think of that. Just another guy with a hole in his arm. What do you say? Let's cut it off, fellas. Takes a lot of work and money to fix a guy's arm, and this is war, and war is hell, and what the hell, and so the hell with it. My left arm.
What have they done with it? Sent it to a hospital so guys could pick it apart, see how an arm works? Wrapped it in an old newspaper and threw it in a junk heap? Take it out and bury it and say a prayer. You should, because it's human flesh and it died young and it deserves a good send-off. My ring. There was a ring on my finger. What have you done with it? Karen gave it to me. I want it back. I can wear it on the other hand. You've got the arm. Isn't that enough? Karen, they've taken it. The ring. You remember, I gave it to you, then you gave it back to me just before I left. Just before I... Mother gave it to me. It's real moonstone. You can wear it. You're so small, Karen. So healthy and beautiful. So beautiful. We shouldn't have the lights out. Your old man will be sore. Don't cry, Karen. Please don't cry. Lots of people come back. Just please don't cry. I've never been with anyone like this before. Put your arms around me, Karen. Both of them. You in my arms. Karen in my arms. Both of them. Oh, Jesus, Mother of God, Karen. They've cut off both my arms. Head and chest heavy like dead weights. Legs light as a feather. Lie me out level, my head and chest are too heavy. I feel faint. Prop me up a little. Mother, they've done it. They've cut off both my legs.
Hurry, Mother! Hurry and wake me up! I'm down here in the darkness and I'm having a nightmare!
floating on a backwash of the Colorado River, wandering through Shale City. Willows near the edge and sweet clover, hot sunshine on my face. My back and stomach are cool from water that was once snow in the mountains not too long ago. Floating, not going anywhere, just letting the river take care of things. Me alone in the river. Water washing over my eyes and nose and mouth. Drowning. Must raise nose out of water. Head too heavy. Won't come up. Nothing to struggle with. Can't move. Sinking. No! Can hear, but can't hear at all. Scream out, but can't. No jaws. Tried to work them. No tongue to test. No tongue inside my teeth to brush against. No teeth. No roof of mouth. No mouth. Can't swallow. No muscles left. Couldn't swim and drowned. I'm breathing. No nose. Air in my chest from somewhere. Can feel it all now. Pain stops where there's nothing. Nerves can feel the whole like snakes crawling up and up and up. Too high, my God, too high to have any eyes in it. A dream. Sweet God, it's a dream. Can't live like that. Person would be dead in that condition, and I'm not dead, so I'm not in that condition. Just dreaming. Hurry, Mother. Hurry and wake me up. I'm down here in the darkness and I'm having a nightmare. Where are you, Mother? I'm here in the darkness. Rock-a-bye, baby. Now I lay me down to sleep. When the wind blows, sing to me, rub me, bathe me, comb my hair, wash out my eyes, play with my toes, clap my head together, kiss me, help me! So quiet. Still. Pinwheels. Pain. Blood throbbing in my brain. Swelling. Contracting. Peaceful. Painless. At least I can think now. At least that. I have come through it alive. Damn you, damn you, damn you. A nice, clean slice of shell that somehow missed both my jugular and my spine, right? They get to you quickly enough so you don't bleed to death, they can save you from anything. Got to me quickly enough. Pick him up quickly, haul him to the base hospital, roll up your sleeves, rub your hands together, say, let's see, what can we do, boys? A toe here, a wrist there, oh, what the hell, let's just cut it off at the joint. You doctors are getting pretty smart. Not many guys you can point to and say, here is our triumph, here is the last work, here is the greatest thing we ever did, and we did plenty. A man with no arms, legs, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, who breathes and eats and is just as alive as you or me. But there's one thing you can't do. You can shove a guy back into the womb, but you can't get him out. I'm here, fellas, here. And not about to be just left along to die, because that would be murder. And a stump can't kill itself. It's got no way to flop over. Shove a tube through some vital organ. I'm here forever. Forever. Got that forever! Lots of funny things happen in this man's war. Read about yourself in the papers, you wouldn't believe it, Joe. This is my life now. Every day, every hour, every minute, every second until I go crazy. Jesus, Joe, that's all you got? It's your mind, your thoughts, your memories. Can't lose that or you'll be less than nothing. Don't let yourself go crazy. Don't.
1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 20. Karen, oh, Karen, please, Karen, I need you. I need you. Take my hand, Karen. That night before I left, you and me laying on your sofa, then that shadow fell across us, and it was your old man. Stop that, goddamn you! Stop that! I'll have none of that in my house. You said, he's going away in the morning. I know, girl, I know. There was that long time not knowing what to say, and then... Get into that bedroom. He looked at you and looked at me, and for the longest time he didn't say anything, and then he said, maybe you never get another chance. Go in there, boy. She's scared. Go in there and put your arms around her. You know how to treat her, don't you? She's no whore. I climbed into bed beside you, and that little puff of air came up from the clean covers, and I smelled your clean, clean flesh, and soap, and the sheets, and you whirled over to me, and threw your arms around me, and held me tight. What is it? Take it off! Stop it! Cloth tied over my face, at the top of my forehead,
Square piece of cloth tied securely, pulled down to my throat, so the nurse in her comings and goings won't vomit at the sight of her patient. All the muscles of my body and power of my mind won't budget. 20 years old and I can't even summon the power to turn over in bed. If I could do that, I could kill myself. No such luck. Think, damn it, think. Lie and lay. Now I lay me down to sleep. I lay these flowers on the table. I lie them on the table. He laid there for 3 hours. I lay this book down. I lie this book down. What the hell? Put the book down and be done with it. Think of something. Anything. Trains. No. Clouds. Rivers. The big ditch north of town. Yes! The pavilion. Music coming through the summer nights. The songs all had meaning, and the words were very serious. Summer nights. Me and Bill Harper and Glenn Hogan and the guys would lie back and talk about very important things. We'd talk about girls. About taking them on dates to the pavilion on the fairgrounds. We'd talk about ties and matching handkerchiefs, and we wore brogue shoes and shirts that had red and green stripes in them. Glenn Hogan had 7 silk shirts. He had most of the girls, too. Then we'd talk about something else and light up a cigarette. It was quite a thing to light up a cigarette. You only did it at night when nobody could see you, and you made a very serious business of holding the cigarette in a properly careless fashion. And the first guy in the bunch to inhale was the greatest guy on earth. Glenn Hogan and the guys. Bill Harper. Diane. Karen, remember me telling you about that summer I spent on the section gang? I didn't tell you the reason I went. The real reason was Diane. Of course, that was way before I met you. I used to think that girls were a terrible thing. They were all untrue and faithless, and they'd try to smash a guy, and you just had to expect it from them. Or at least from Diane. Joe Bonham, had you been a fool back then? Were you really that moonstruck that you out and joined a section gang for the whole summer vacation to lay some stinking railroads just because of Diane? Oh, yes. Diane, you weren't worth it. You couldn't have been worth it. No one on earth could be worth so much pain. Except maybe a guy's mother. See, Bill Harper told me he'd seen Diane and Glenn Hogan going out. Now, Bill was my best friend, Karen, but I called him a liar and hit him and knocked him down. Getting up off that ground, Bill told me he'd seen Diane and Glenn going into the Elysium Theater. I knew he was telling the truth. So, I decided to leave it all and go into the desert and work like a man and forget about it. There I was, Karen, in that infernal desert sun, sweating, hurting, with a pick in my hands, exhausted, when I started thinking to myself, Joe, it's awfully silly for you to be way out here forgetting it all while nobody suffered but you. Not just left Glenn and Diane back in Shale City to go out as much as they wanted to. For me to be way out here, slaving my best years away on some section gang, was just as if Diane had suddenly decided to become a washerwoman to spite me. Which she would not do. Well, Joe, it's plenty easy to go off in the desert to work like a man, but how do you get back without feeling foolish? I have to do it for Diane's sake. Well, sure. Just because Glenn has a good-looking car, he thinks he can take advantages of a girl that the ordinary guy wouldn't dream of. It's more or less my duty to see Diane, talk to her like a brother, tell her about Glenn. I have to do it, even at the expense of my pride. I was packed in on that gravel train before anybody could ask where the fire was. On the train, I thought, afterwards, I'd go over to Bill's and say, let's forget about it. Bill's too good a friend to lose over Diane. I dropped off the train a little after 11 o'clock, suddenly felt good, and realized I was on Diane's street. There she is, on the front steps, with her arms around somebody and somebody's arms around her. They're kissing. He's letting her go. She runs up the steps. He's turning. Coming down the walk. He's whistling. Wait. He stopped. Turning. Starlight on his face. Bill Harper. Goodbye, Diane. Goodbye. People asked, why don't we see you and Diane anymore? Nothing I could say. They said, what's the matter with you and Bill? We don't see you around much anymore. Nothing I could say. My dad asked, how come you get a job on the section gang and stay only one day? Nothing I could say. That was the first time I ever cried over a girl. I laid there in bed and bawled like a kid. My hands were sore and bloody, my legs were tired, and I was sick at heart. It's a helpless feeling, Karen. One you think you'll never get over. There's something crawling up my side. Can feel feet, little feet, claws, sharp claws. No, God, can't be. Hair, fur, tail, a rat. My left side. Crawling, sniffing, tearing at the bandage, whiskers tickling edge of draining wound. My God, nothing I can do. Eating, sharp little teeth, biting, chewing, digging in. Feet scooping out more flesh, hurts, chewing. Where's the nurse? Somebody get this rat off me! See him hanging there! Somebody! The nurse's hands on me, washing my body, my flesh so smooth, so warm. A dream. Or had it been a dream? I can feel the nurse's hands, and they're real. My God, they are very, very, very real. A child awakened from a nightmare to find itself safe and snug in its mother's arms. No need to worry, no need to think, no need to struggle. New bandages, fresh linen, fresh, cool linen. It might come again, the rat dream. I have to figure a way out of that dream when it comes. You stop nightmares by yelling so loud you wake yourself up, or you think your way out of them. Joe, this is a dream, you understand? Open your eyes, and the dream is gone. I can't yell. Can't even open my eyes. Better figure out some way quick to prove whether you're awake or asleep. Start at the beginning. I'm awake now, I'm sure of it. I felt nurse's hands, and they were real. I'm still awake because I'm thinking about the rat dream. Minute you feel sleepy, like you're just about to topple off, just stiffen yourself and say, we are not going to have any dreams about rats. Yeah, right. How are you going to know when you begin to feel sleepy? Get tired all day from working and you just relax in bed and you're asleep. Your eyes burn a little, you yawn and stretch and your lids drop. Your eyes don't burn. You can't yawn. You've got no eyelids. I might be slipping in and out of sleep every 5 minutes. When I was a kid, I used to daydream, and all that time I was awake. Whew. Jesus, Joe, you're in an awful mess. Maybe there isn't a way. Maybe for the rest of my life, I will have to guess whether I'm awake or asleep. I've got to know. I've got to. I have a mind left, by God, that is all. It is all I have, so I must use it every minute I'm awake. I must think until I am tireder than I have ever been before. David Copperfield. David Copperfield had a tough time of it and was apprenticed by Mr. Micawber, who believed everything would turn out well. There was Aunt Dorothy or something like that, and David ran away to her. His mother had brown eyes and was gentle. Barkis was willing. The father was... He died so long ago. I'm glad you didn't live to see me like this because I couldn't stand that. I never had the chance to tell you. I was too young to know. What a good, honest man you were. I used to think that you were a failure because we had no money. But you kept us together and we ate good food, fine food, better food than people eat in the cities. They couldn't get vegetables as fresh or meat as well cured. No amount of money could buy that. We didn't have much time together. Just those fishing trips up on Grand Mesa. One summer night, I was 15, and Bill Harper was coming up in the morning. You were on the other side of the fire. I watched you and wondered how I was going to tell you that tomorrow, for the first time in all our trips together, I wanted to go fishing with someone else. You'd always preferred my company to that of other men, and I'd always preferred your company to that of the guys. Bill Harper's coming up tomorrow, and I thought maybe I'd go with him. Bill doesn't know much about fishing, and I do, so I thought, if you don't mind, I'll get up early and meet Bill, and he and I will go fishing. For a little while, you didn't say anything. Then you said, Bill Harper got a rod? Why don't you take my rod and let Bill use yours? I don't feel like fishing tomorrow, and I think I'll rest all day. You take my rod and let Bill use yours. As simple as that, and yet it was a great thing. Your rod was very valuable to you, the only extravagance you'd had in your whole life. Had those amber leaders and those beautiful silk windings. 6 o'clock, Bill whispered to me through the tent flaps. I got up and gave him my rod and took yours, and we went out without waking you. We were in the rowboat all day, trolling with spinners. Both lines were out. We were feeling kind of dreamy because we'd had such a wonderful time all day. And then that fish struck. That whirring sound, and the rod leaped out of the boat and into the water. We made wild grabs for it. Too late. We beached the boat, cleaned the fish, then I left Bill. It's no use waiting till the morning. I had to tell you the truth. Dad, we lost your rod. We got a quick strike, and before we knew it, the rod was in the water. We hunted for it and fished for it with our oars, but we couldn't find it, so it's lost. Seemed like maybe 5 minutes before you made a sound. You turned over slightly in bed, and I felt your arm laying across my chest. Its warm, comforting pressure. Well, I don't think we should let a little thing like a fishing rod spoil our last trip together, should we? There was nothing to say. You'd known all along that was our last trip together. From then on, I'd come up with Bill and Glenn and the rest, and you'd go on fishing trips without me. Lying there beside you, jackknifed together in the way we always slept best, with your arms around me. Father, I blinked back tears. You and me, we'd lost everything. Six times 6 is 36. 36 times 36 is 576. 576 times 576. Well, that's not any good. That's as far as I can go. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness' sake, for they shall do something or other I can't remember. There are 8 planets. There's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 more. I don't know. A star flickers and a planet has steady light. I can't remember. Hell, trouble is, I don't know anything. Why couldn't they have taught me something I'd remember? Here I am with nothing to do but think, and I got nothing to fall back on. Go forward, start somewhere. Start at the beginning, start at the beginning, start at the beginning. Early childhood. No.
farther. Birth. Before birth, creation. Before creation, space. Blackness. Empty. Lonely. The very beginning. Time. 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 First man who began to think was thinking of time. They studied the stars and they figured out the week and month and year, so they had a way of measuring time. It's the only real thing. It's everything. No matter how far you are from other people, if you have a way of measuring time, you're in the world with them. You're a part of them. But if you lose time, the others go on without you, and you're left alone, hanging in the air. If I could keep track of time, I could get a hold of myself and keep myself in the world. The Count of Monte Cristo in that dungeon down there, he kept a record of time. Robinson Crusoe was very careful to track time, and he never had any appointments. All I know is that one day in September in 1918, time stopped. There was that howl somewhere, and I dived into that dugout, and things blotted out, and I lost time. I might have been unconscious for 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, who could tell? Who knows how much time had been lost between all the faintings and dreamings? If I count the seconds to the minute, and then add the minutes in one part of my brain, while I count in seconds to get more minutes until I have the minutes in an hour, then I can add the hours in another part of my brain while I count in seconds and minutes, and then I will go crazy in exactly 1 hour and 15 minutes. No, I don't need enough seconds or minutes or even hours. All I need to know are days. Days and series of days. Days and series of days.
The only part of my body that's normal, that's exactly as it should be, and that's not covered up, is the skin on the sides of my neck, from the cover line to my ears, and the top half of my forehead above the mask. So, what do you do with that skin, Joe, my boy? Why, you feel with it, but you also sweat with it. And when you sweat, you're cooled by air blowing over skin. Heat and cold, Joe, my boy, day and night, sunset and sunrise. It's so simple. When the temperature changes from cool to warm, I will know it's sunrise in the beginning of day. Then I count the nurse's visits to the next sunrise, and I will have the number of visits in 24 hours, and I will forever afterwards be able to tell time. What if I'm running a temperature, maybe sweating from too much excitement, maybe? Give yourself a chance. Now, think what happens in the mornings in a hospital, and then try to figure out what follows that. In the morning, the nurses try to get their heavy work done. That means I'm bathed and my bedclothes are changed. That's my starting point. Now, the bath and bedding change come on the average of 12. Just about 1 in every 12 visits. Now, I've got to assume maybe my bedding is changed every day, but I don't think so, because that would mean the nurse visits me every 2 hours and there's so little work for her to do. Why would she come that often? If she changed my bedding every 2 days, that would mean she comes into my room 6 times a day. That would be every 4 hours. The simplest schedule for her to follow would be 8, 12, 4, 8, 12, 4. If she changed my bedding in the morning, that would be 8 o'clock. Not bad. Now, I should be able to check in the morning, because in the morning, everything is cool. And almost the first flash of sunlight will bring about some sort of change in heat. The nurse's 6th visit will be somewhere around 4 in the morning, just before sunrise. So, after the 6th visit, Joe, my boy, you will stay awake and concentrate every bit of your mind and skin on the job of catching the temperature change. If it works, all you have to do is count 6 more visits plus 1 more and see if there's another sunrise. If there is, you will have the number of visits in 24 hours and a way of setting up a calendar. Catch 2 sunrises in a row, and you will have caught up with the world. Now, Joe, what you do is lie back very calm, very peaceful, and you wait. Nurse's feet vibrating against the floor. Her hands on me, rolling me over to my side, held there, washing me, rolled back between cool, crisp sheets. Vibrations as she walks to place in the room, receding, sharp little tremor of the door. I'm alone. Her heavy work. It's morning, the first visit. Calm down, calm down. You haven't proved anything yet. Just calm down, lie back, and count 6 more visits. Door opening. Nurse coming towards me. Adjusting the tubes in my stomach. Going away. Door closing. Second visit. 12 noon. Third visit. Walking to the other side of the room, another door opening, must be a closet. She's walking away, stopping. She's leaving, door closing. 4 in the afternoon. Door opening, closed. Coming towards me, fluffing my pillow. Something cool, wet against my forehead. Taken away, mask adjusted. Leaving, gone. 8 o'clock at night. 2 more visits to go. Nurse coming toward me, touching the tube in my throat, patting me on the forehead, going away, door closing. Efficient. Midnight. It's here. 6th visit. 4 in the morning, I hope. Nurse's feet vibrating against the floor. Nothing. Still nothing. Probably looking at me. She's leaving quickly. Now concentrate. Don't let your mind wander for 1 second, not for 1 second. Time standing perfectly still just to spite me. Sweat's pouring out of me. I can feel pieces of skin on my neck and forehead tingling as if they've been paralyzed, and now getting a fresh supply of blood. Like pores on my neck, reaching out to grab at the change. So slow, so gradual. Suck it in. My God, it's happening. I can feel it. Sheltered in a hospital room as far away as possible from the changes in temperature, but it's coming. In a blaze of heat, seared, burned, scorched by the heat of the rising sun, it's penetrated my room. I've captured time. It's dawn. Dawn. All over the country, the sun is rising in the east, and people are getting out of bed, and the hills are turning pink, and the birds are singing. The first bright rays of the morning sun coming over the high mountains of Colorado in the east, colors coming down their side. The little town where I was born, where I live. All the rooftops rosy with the dawn. I can see inside houses where men are getting out of bed, yawning and stretching and scratching their chests and groping for house slippers, and finally getting up and going into the kitchen where their wives have sausages and hotcakes and coffee waiting for them. I can see little babies squirming in their cribs, rubbing their eyes and laughing and crying and maybe smelling a little bad, but looking awfully healthy as they greet the dawn. Thank you, God. I have seen the dawn, and I will see it every morning from now on.
I will have a calendar in which the sun and moon and seasons have no place. I will make this universe and organize it to my liking. Outside, it might be the 4th of July for all I care. I name the days of the week, Monday through Sunday. Each Sunday afternoon, I will walk in some woods that were just outside of Paris. Once, when I was on leave, Karen, in the springtime, I walked in them. So now, every Sunday afternoon can be springtime. When July comes around and the trout are biting, I can go up on Grand Mesa and talk things over with Father. Each summer week, in and out, I can go to sleep with you, Karen, whispering to you, God bless you, Karen, darling. God bless you. Day nurse. Smooth, slick hands. Little hard, like the hands of a woman that's worked for a long while. Middle-aged, gray hair. Comes to my bed in 4 firm steps. Bed must be about 10 feet from the door. Has a brisk way of doing things. Flip, but I'm on my side. Whoosh, and a sheet is laid out next to me. Flop, but I'm on my back. Swipe, swipe, but I'm bathed. She knows her business, this day nurse, and I like her. I squirm to let her know I'm glad to see her. She pats my stomach, runs her hand through my hair. When a new nurse comes, I always know what she'll do first. She'll pull back the covers, and then she'll make no movement for a minute or two, and I'll know she's looking down at me and probably getting a little sick. One of them turned and ran out of the room. Another one cried. I felt her tears on my chest. I imagined her young and beautiful like you, Karen. Something's happening. Nurse is giving me a fresh change of linen. I received one just yesterday. Spraying me with something. Spray is cool and misty against my skin. Clean nightshirt. New mask, arranged very fussily. Falling down to my throat, tucked into the fold of my bed covers. She's combing my hair. Gone. Whew! What a luxurious feeling to be so completely redone. I must be glowing. The sheets are cool and crisp and my scalp feels clean. I don't want to move. I might spoil the good feeling. Footsteps heavier than the nurse. 4 or 5 men coming into my room, toward my bed, stopping. 4 or 5 men gathered around my bed, more people than ever before, staring down at me. Doctors. Come to examine. I must be pretty famous by now, and they're starting to make pilgrimages. See what a good job we did? See where the eyes came out and the nose came off? See how we did it, and he still lives. Stop by my office on the way out. I'll give you one of his teeth as a souvenir. Man's hand, folding back the covers. 1 fold, 2 folds. Someone pinching up a portion of my nightshirt as if taking a piece between the thumb and forefinger, weighted down by something cold and hard like a piece of metal against my skin over my heart. They've penned a medal on me. 4 or 5 big guys, famous guys, who still had their arms and legs, had come into my room and penned a medal on me. They could afford to. How many generals ever got killed in war? Sudden, fierce, surging desire for them to see me! See the hole in my head! Footsteps against the floor, running out of the room. Footsteps bashing, banging, bouncing, smashing, pounding, rapping, pounding out of my room. So I wasn't totally helpless after all. Yes. Running, bounding, banging, stopping, rapping, tapping. Tapping. A foot against the floor is one kind of vibration. The tap of a telegraph key is another kind. Bill Harper and I had a telegraph set. We used to talk to each other. Dot, dash, Morse code. I'll talk. Dash and two dots, letter D. Dot, dash, dot, SOS, help. Nurse standing next to me, looking down, wondering, her hand against my forehead, stroking my forehead in slow, gentle motions, pressure against my forehead, heavier and heavier, growing tireder and tireder, changing her touch, pity. No! I won't let you feel sorry for me! I won't let you! Sting like a needle. Giving me drugs, trying to shut me up, plotting against me down here. Can't tap, can't break through, can't stop my mind, you bastards, can't stop my thoughts. Oh, damn you, damn you, damn you. Who are these people, Karen? What are they doing to me down here? Don't they know who I am? What I've done down here? I'm an American down here! Oh, maybe they don't know I'm an American. Maybe they blast strong enough to tear off my arms and limbs would have blown all identification to hell and gone. Only way they would have of knowing where I was from was where they found me. Pretty sure they found me among Englishmen. Went over the top together. Americans and limeys diving into that dugout. A flash, a thought, blackness. No, Joe, don't go back there. Don't let them send you back there. No, you don't want to be here. Run, Joe. Oh, Joe, what the hell are you doing back here? Oh, you come too far, Joe. Got to get out, need to think, need someone, anyone to help. Huey! Oh, Huey! You limey bastard, it's me, Joe Bottom. Oh, man, Huey, am I glad I found you. Oh, Huey, help me out. Okay, buddy? Like you used to? Tell me some of your funny stories. Remember? Remember we tell stories when it got rough or was boring as hell? Stories to get away from it all? Remember? Remember old Lazarus? That big, fat Hun coming out of the fort, stumbling like he was drunk towards the British lines. It was dull that morning, and we were all cold and sore and uncomfortable about the war, so somebody took a shot at him for no reason. Hell, he was probably just lost. Poor guy stood stock still, peering into the fog like he was surprised anybody want to shoot him. Even as he sagged, he had that hurt, puzzled look. And we let him lie out there. One arm hung over that barbed wire, like a sentry pointing the way for somebody else. Remember how when the wind was right, we could smell him? Then that colonel came through on inspection, with his bony nose high in the air, sniffing. That's a very strong odor, he said to Corporal Temlin. Temlin said, he's Bavarian, sir. I always smell worse. Bad for morale. Take a burial squad out and bury him.
And Timlin looked around to see who was grinning so he knew who to take out on that squad. And the next day, the shells started falling, and one of them happened to hit Lazarus, and he leaped into the air like a slow-motion picture, landing high on that wire again, with his finger pointing at us like a stool pigeon. And then that colonel came through again, getting a strong flavor of Lazarus and telling Timlin to take a full burial squad out, bury the Hun 6 feet deep, and read the full service of the Church of England. Middle of the service, flares go up, somebody gets a bead on Timlin and shoots him right smack in the bottom. May God have mercy on your soul, amen. Make for cover, boys! Those bloody bastards have shot me in the arse! Then that other shell hit and threw Lazarus onto the wire again. Sheets flapping in the wind, parts of him dripping to the ground. We opened fire on him. Shot him off. Couldn't see him, but could still smell him. Forget him. Why'd we shoot him in the first place? Huey? If we left him alone out there, none of it would have happened. That colonel wouldn't have come through a third time, asking for somebody to go out and check that barbed wire. You wouldn't have said, sure, I'm bored anyway. Maybe you'll catch me some Huns and be a hero. You stupid, stupid kid. Why'd you let them do it to you? You didn't have to prove anything. That place wasn't any of our business. What the hell were you doing out there that night? Why'd you go out there? Why'd you go past that line of barbed wire? They found you out there on your stomach, in a pool of vomit where you'd fallen, and you'd stuck your right arm clean up to the shoulder through Lazarus. You were crying. You'd gone crazy and they had to take you away, you poor, stupid English kid, not wanting to be thought a coward, and now you're locked away somewhere just like me. At night, all I could think about was you, Huey. Crying and babbling like a baby, crying and screaming like a baby. So loud I didn't even hear that shell coming down on me in that dugout. And where are the brass bands now? You and me, Huey? You, me, and Lazarus. They drugged all of us. Jesus, Joe. Here you are, lying like a side of beef for the rest of your life, and for what? Somebody tapped you on the shoulder and said, come along, son, we're going to war. No yes or no, or I'll think it over. Somebody just said, let's go fight for liberty, and those that went got killed without ever once thinking about liberty. If there could be a next time, I'd say, mister, my life's important to me. When I swap my life for liberty, I need to know in advance what liberty is, and just whose idea of liberty we're talking about, and how much of that liberty we're gonna have when it's all over. Mister, you owe me that much in this deal because I like the liberty I have. To walk and see and hear and eat and sleep with my girl. I always hear the same people willing to sacrifice somebody else's life. But it's time two people had a say in things. Us little guys and the dead. What do the dead say? Any of them ever come back and say, I died for decency and that's better than being alive? The man that says death before dishonor is either a fool or a liar because he doesn't know what death is. I do. I'm the nearest thing to a dead man on earth. Those kids didn't die thinking about decency. They died crying in their minds like babies. They died whispering for the voice of a mother, a father, a wife, a child. They died moaning and sighing for life. I want to live, I want to live, I want to live. Nothing is bigger than life. Footsteps, lighter than my regular nurse, younger, buoyant. A new day nurse. Throwing back the covers, standing very quietly next to me, her hand against my forehead. This new nurse, this nurse with a light, happy step, isn't afraid. Opening up my nightshirt, moving her index finger against the skin of my chest. Not traveling aimlessly. A pattern over and over. A design that has no curves, straight lines and angles. Straight line moving up, then down at an angle, then up at an angle and down. Stopped. Repeated. Tracing the letter M. E R R Y C H R I S T M and A and S. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. It's Christmas. Someone has broken through to me and I am no longer alone. It's like a great light in the midst of darkness. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. I've been taken back into the world. This new nurse has thought of a way to speak to me. Maybe she'll pay attention when I try to speak to her. Very carefully, very slowly, to make sure she knows there's a method to what I'm doing. Urinal slipped next to me so I can recognize it. Urinal taken away, bedpan under me. Blanket off, then back on, another on top, patting the bandage, lifting my nightshirt, rubbing my body, smoothing my hair, scratching my scalp, loosening the cord, holding the mask, lifting the mask, replacing the bandage, stopping. She's done everything she can think of, and now she's standing very quietly as if to say, it's your turn now. Try hard and tell me, and I'll try hard to understand. Only living thing in this whole world is my head as it taps, taps, taps against my pillow. It's now or never. Finger against my forehead, tapping 4 times against my forehead. Hand pressed reassuringly against my forehead. Rapidly receding vibrations of her footsteps. She got it. Oh, thank you, God. She got it. She got it. The door opening. Vibrations of footsteps, light ones, the nurse's, another's, heavier. A man's. Finger out of nowhere, tapping. What do you want? An ice cream cone? A good book? Dancing lessons? The bed's a little hard. Bring me a glass of water. The coffee you've been pouring into my veins needs more sugar? You stupid bastards, I want what you take for granted. Eyes to see with, a nose to smell the faint perfume that stays in the air after a girl's passed by, a mouth to kiss, arms and legs to work and be like a man, like a living thing. I also want what you can give me. I want out. Out of this bed, away from this empty room. I want to do something, anything. I can do something. I could be an educational exhibit. People wouldn't learn much about anatomy from me, but they would learn all there is to know about war. The difference between a war in the newspapers and Liberty Bond drives and a war that's fought out lonesomely in the mud somewhere. A war between a man and a high-explosive shell. Take off my nightshirt, build a glass case around me, and take me wherever people are on the lookout for freakish things. I'm the alive man that's dead. I'm the dead man that's alive. Take me wherever parliaments and congresses and chambers of statesmen are meeting. I want to be there when they talk about honor and justice and the 14 points and self-determination of peoples. Let them form blocs and alliances and mutual assistance pacts and guarantees of neutrality. Let them draft notes and ultimatums and protests and accusations, but before they vote to start killing each other, let the main guy rap his gavel down on my case and say, "Here, gentlemen, is the only issue before this House, and that is, are you for this thing here, or are you against it?" Please let me out of here. That's what I want. To feel a part of mankind, to feel fresh air and sense people around me. Please, let me out of here. Finger against my forehead. What you ask is against regulations. They want to forget me. I'm on their conscience. They've abandoned me. These people don't want me, Karen. They don't want to see me. Why? I'm alive, Karen. I'm not one of the dead. Why don't they want me to be seen? Why don't they want me to be free? The war must be over by now. No war could last this long, killing so many people. There aren't enough people to kill. Why? They're frightened of me. I'm back from the battlefield, as I am. So shall you be. Already they are thinking ahead, and they are planning the future. And in the future they see war. To fight that war, they will need men, and if the men see the future, they won't fight. They would ask questions, and they would find answers, and they would say to the men that wanted them to fight, "You lying, thieving sons of bitches, we won't fight. We won't be dead. We will live. We are the world. We are what makes it go round. We make bread and cloth. We are immortal. We are the sources of life. We are the lowly, sad, despicable people. We are the great, wonderful, beautiful people of the world, and we are sick of it. We are utterly weary of it. We are done with it forever and ever because we are the living and we will not be destroyed. I won't let them do it. I won't let them win. I will not. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 10 is 10. 1 times 11 is 11. 1 times 12 is 12. 1 times 13 is 13. 1 times 14 is 14. 1 times